Welcome to Community Home for August 4th, 2020. Today I want to read to you Psalms 90. Lord, through all the generations you have been our home. Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and the world, from beginning to end, you are God. Here the psalmist Moses is declaring his need for God and who God is and acknowledging that God is God. He says, then you turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortals. For you 1,000 years are a passing day, as brief as a few night hours. You sweep people away like dreams that disappear. They are like grass that spring up in the morning. In the morning it blooms and flourishes, but by evening it is dry and withered. We wither beneath your anger. We are overwhelmed by your fury. You spread out our sins before you, our secret sins, and you see them all. We live our lives beneath your wrath, ending our years with a groan. That's encouraging, isn't it? 70 years are given to us. Some even live to 80. But even the best years are filled with pain and trouble. Soon they disappear and we fly away. Even more encouraging words there. So it's a little bit of a depressing tone here, right? He's acknowledged who God is, and then he's talking about the realities of life, the honesty of it. Then he asks a question in verse 11. He says, who can comprehend the power of your anger? Your wrath is as awesome as the fear you deserve. Teach us to realize the brevity of life so that we may grow in wisdom. O Lord, come back to us. How long will you delay? Take pity on your servants. Satisfy us each morning with your unfailing love, so we must sing for joy to the end of our lives. Give us gladness in the proportion to our former misery. Replace the evil years with good. Let us, your servants, see your work again. Let our children see your glory. And may the Lord our God show us his approval and make our efforts successful. Yes, make our efforts successful. I'm going to read to you from Paul David Tripp's devotional, New Morning Mercies. It's one of my favorite devotionals, and I want to read to you today's, August 4th. He says, I love the honesty of the Bible. I love that faith in God doesn't require you and me to play monkey games with reality. I love that the Bible's description of life in this fallen world is accurate and familiar, as we just read in Psalms 90. This is what Psalms 90 is saying. It says the years of our lives are 70 or even by reason of strength, maybe 80. Yet their span is but toil and trouble. They are soon gone and we fly away. That was in verse 10. See, here's what the psalmist is saying. Your life will be short and will be marked by difficulty. Not very good news, is it? But it's true. You live in a fallen world that itself groans, waiting for redemption. We live with flawed people who think and say and do wrong things. We live in a place where corruption, immorality, injustice, pollution, and disease still live and do their ugly work. We live in an environment that does not function according to God's original design. Every day is marked by little troubles, and big trouble will enter your door as well. And all this, we are tempted to feel alone, forsaken, poor, and unable. And all this, we are tempted to wonder whether God exists, let alone if He cares or hears. In our troubles, some people around you are insensitive and unloving. Do you find that to be true? They find your troubles to be too much of a burden, and the people who are sensitive and loving have little power to erase our trouble. Or listen to this. If you are God's child, you are not alone. Glorious grace has connected you to the one whose power and love don't shift with the times. Grace has connected you and me to the one who is the ultimate dwelling place, the ultimate place to which we can run. This means that I am never left just to my own resources. I'm never left to figure it out and deal with life on my own. As God's child, I must never see myself as poor and forsaken. I must never buy into the lie that I have no recourse or hope. I must never think that my life is ruled by my difficulty. I must never give way to despondency or despair. Grace has opened the door of hope and refuge to me by connecting me to the one who is eternal, who rules all the circumstances and relationships that would cause me to feel alone. I hope that you find that encouraging. I hope that you continue to place your total trust and faith in our God and not in the circumstances around us. I'll talk to you soon.